It's the championship decider in cadet lightweights.
So here we are then. It is the last time that we will see our cadet lightweights out on track for some racing today here at Buckmore Park. Let's have a look at our grid. Who's competing then for this final? It's Elijah Hazelwood, Thomas Welsford on the front row of the grid. Ellis Cox, Oliver Wangyo, sorry, I'll try that again, row 2. Then we have Charlie Kachbregi and then Zane Perry on row 3. It's been a long day of commentating. Row 4, Matteo Ehrenfeuchter and Henry Greenwood. Row 5, Leo Edger and Finley Strang. Row 6, Bertie Hodgson and Ayrton Lima Evans. Moving on to row 7, Ethan Guest and Joseph East. Row 8, it's Addy Manu and Mason Turner. Row 9, Dan Griffin and Logan Nichols. Moving on to the 10th row, we will have Vinnie Cunningham and Miles Harrison. And rounding out our field, our 22 car field, is Lewis Tracy and Luke Collins.
The very simple way of stating this, if Matteo Ehrenfeuchter finishes 3rd or higher, Matteo Ehrenfeuchter will be the 2024 Cadet Lightweight Champion in the Club 100 Cadet and Junior Championships. Here we go then. Championship decider for the Cadet Lightweights is go. Hazelwood leads through the first couple of corners. None of the dramas that we saw in the Pre-A final this time around. Down the inside, big move from Ethan Guest there through hairpin number 1. It's a good start for the number 24 of Charlie Chapregi, as well as one driver is spat out of the pack. It's the number 12. That's Lewis Tracy, who'd come through from the B-tier races. Elijah Hazelwood at the front of the field can tie on the points with Matteo Ehrenfeuchter, but is more than 2 wins behind in countback, so can hope for second place and no more. Ellis Cox, also not part of the championship battle, is there in second place, but definitely a good shout for a race victory here today. Where is Ehrenfeuchter in the number 6? Where is Miles Harrison as well in the number 22? Ehrenfeuchter is P8 at the moment. That would be another drop score for Ehrenfeuchter, but at the moment it doesn't matter because Miles Harrison is behind on the road. Has gained 8 places on the first lap as Miles Harrison, up to P13. For Miles Harrison, he's got to throw everything at this, but at the same time cannot afford, Reeve, any penalties at all.
Absolutely not. Has to keep it clean there. He is our biggest gainer on the first lap, though, as is Ethan Guest. 7 places made. Leo Edger, 4 places made as well. Good start as well for Charlie Chishbregi as we head towards the end of the second lap now. A couple of penalties coming in. We've got a braking formation for Mason Turner there.
Has indeed. Just a little bit more on the maths of all of this as Hazelwood and Cox work together at the front of the field. If scores are tied, the tiebreaker will always go to Matteo Ehrenfeuchter, because as things stand, Matteo has 5 race wins so far this year. Miles Harrison has 3, of course could improve to 4 in this race, but do the maths, 4 is not greater than 5. And it's the same situation for Hazelwood. Hazelwood has 3 wins already, can only hope to score 4. So the other way of looking at it for Miles Harrison has got to go and beat Matteo Ehrenfeuchter's score, best 14 of 20 races. To do that, if Ehrenfeuchter drops, Harrison has got to finish 3rd. So either way, both of our championship contenders, if they want to have things in their own hands, have got to race onto the podium.
Absolutely. Matteo's doing his absolute best there. Fastest lap promotes him into P7 at the moment. This is an immense battle at the front end of the field as we now have a look at what is going on slightly further down. This is a battle between Henry Greenwood, Finley Strang as well. But there is Ellis Cox trying to make it as difficult as possible for Elijah Hazelwood. They are attached to each other pretty much and have been for over a lap now, really working together then to try and break away a bit of an air gap to the cart behind. Thomas Welsford trying to push on, just hasn't quite matched the times. But in terms of times, we got a 39.394 for Elijah, we got a 39.398 for Ellis, and a 39.399 for Thomas Welsford there. So they are oh so competitive at the front end of the field.
And the pace is good as well, which is strangely good news for Matteo Ehrenfeuchter. Ehrenfeuchter, with the situation for Miles Harrison, will be quite happy with a race that strings out at the front. He doesn't want it to stay tight because that increases the opportunities for Miles Harrison to get through that pack and gain some more points. 7.5 minutes to go on the clock. Hazelwood and Cox continuing to work together. Hazelwood knows that a win in this race, depending on the result for Miles Harrison, could in fact leave Hazelwood as second in the championship at the end of all of this. Would be an improvement on the third place that he got last year. Up round Cafe Corner then. Matteo Ehrenfeuchter has just set the fastest lap of the race. He's still there in 7th place. That would still be a drop score.
Ooh, side by side with Henry Greenwood there. Takes the inside into that first corner though. So holds on to P7 for the time being.
Does indeed. And to be clear again, if both Ehrenfeuchter and Harrison both drop score in this race, as they are doing at this point of time, that is also advantage Ehrenfeuchter. And in fact, Miles Harrison is out the back of the field. Something has happened on that last lap to Miles Harrison. That's going to be it. That's going to be the championship to Matteo Ehrenfeuchter. It was a 56.771 for Miles Harrison. It's happened out there off of our cameras. But unfortunately for Miles Harrison, the hopes of going one better than last year are going to be over here. He's down in P22. It's going to be a drop score. It was always going to be a tough ask for Miles Harrison to overcome the consistency of Matteo Ehrenfeuchter, even coming into this round as a double race winner at Warden Law last time out. But I think that is it. That's how a championship can end sometimes. And even more galling bit for Miles Harrison is, as the result is at the moment, there has been a change for the lead, by the way, that Ellis Cox has got through past Elijah Hazelwood. But as things stand, I think Harrison is also going to lose second place in the championship, because Elijah Hazelwood's P2 on the road would elevate Hazelwood to 1.785, 2 points behind Ehrenfeuchter, 2 points ahead of Harrison.
Terrible shame then for Miles Harrison. A race weekend really that he probably would sooner rather forget, all in all. So, some great pace from Zane Perry at the moment. He's our first driver into the 48-second region. So even though the light is fading away from us, temperatures aren't actually dropping, at least according to the weather forecast. So the track is still looking good out there.
These are good conditions for the drivers at the moment. It'll be good for the engines as well, as side by side between Ehrenfeuchter and Henry Greenwood. I wonder if he knows. If he knows that it's pretty much done. There would need to be a remarkable set of circumstances now. And I've got to say, credit to Miles Harrison, who is continuing round.
Yeah.
I've seen drivers in this kind of position before just kind of quit the race really and say, you know what, I'm not going to run around, and each to their own and their own choices. But full credit to Miles Harrison that he's continuing to circulate. He's a proud racer, is Miles Harrison, and I'm sure there will be further race victories and potentially titles in the racing career of Miles Harrison in the future. He's just going to finish short again in this cadet lightweights championship by a small number of points. 1,787 points is the tally at the moment for Matteo Ehrenfeuchter. If you go by total number of points, including those that are dropped, 2,501 for Ehrenfeuchter, 2,496 at the moment for Hazelwood. A little bit further back there, Miles Harrison on 2,470. But we're talking, a position here, a position there across the course of the season.
Over how many races we have to have that small of a points margin is remarkable, especially as a percentage there. Still some great battling going on for the lead of this race, though, as we see Ellis Cox leading from Elijah Hazelwood. This has allowed Thomas Welsford to catch right back up and get into the mix here in this fight between the podium sitters.
Thomas Welsford trying to get back to the podium for the first time since Ella Park.
Oh,
that's a bit of a rough one, unfortunately, down the inside. I think that was Charlie Ciampregui and Ethan Guest fighting over P4. And now Matteo Ehrenfeuchter is into a championship point improving position. This will feel even sweeter now. Ehrenfeuchter is up into 6th place. With how the drop scores are working, as down the inside goes Henry Greenwood on Charlie Ciampregui. This will start to further extend the gap for Matteo Ehrenfeuchter. Less than 2 minutes to go. Ellis Cox, Elijah Hazelwood and Thomas Welsford. That's your fight for the podium. But this is a champion's drive now for Matteo Ehrenfeuchter, who's through into 4th place now. Moves himself another couple of points clear of his title rivals. And, well, he may not know still what's happened to Miles Harrison, but what he will know is that he hasn't seen the number 22 in this race. He will know that the championship is still very much in his hands. And that will feel pretty good after a long, hard season that started with a double win at Rye House. Went a little bit off the boil through Glannygores in the first meeting at Wilton Mill, but he got back in the win column at PF International. Very solid through the middle part of the season at Ella Park, Wilton Mill, another double round win at Llandau. Rowra was a tough day, but then he's got the consistency back together in the last 2 rounds of this season. Another change at the front. This is going to be a battle reeve that'll go to the last lap of the race. Elijah Hazelwood and Ellis Cox, and Thomas Welsford still very much in it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Their pace has been absolutely remarkable. The entire race duration, really, they have not relented one bit. As we see that Elijah Hazelwood going into the mid part of the corner, trying to take a bit of a defensive line, making those 2 cars work a little bit harder to try and find a way past. There is Matteo Ehrenfeuchter, championship incumbent, potentially looking over his shoulder to see where his nearest rivals are.
Last lap called. Elijah Hazelwood looking for another trophy final victory. Hasn't had one since PF International back in the spring. Down the inside goes Welsford for P2, trying to get a best result of the season so far. Ellis Cox is still going to fight in there. This is good for Hazelwood. Has got a bit of a gap. Cox back into P2. There is the number 6 of Matteo Ehrenfeuchter, who is half a lap away from finishing this one as Ellis Cox goes down the inside for the race lead, for the round win. They're going to be running up through Cafe Corner for the last time this season in cadet lightweights. Ellis Cox wins at Buckmore Park. 2nd place for Elijah Hazelwood, and a championship to Matteo Ehrenfeuchter, who has held on, who has extended his championship lead, and he is the new Club 100 Cadet lightweight champion. 6th in the championship last year. A huge step forward